Hey guys, the name of today's session is Embrace Yourself, or become a child again. What I mean by this is, take this almost as a continuation from the previous session, or a deepening. This is going to involve a lot of forgiveness again, because forgiveness, I believe, in the journey of wholeness, of becoming whole, becoming yourself again, forgiveness is going to be an ongoing thing, ongoing process, part of your, take this into your toolbox really. So we're going to be talking about the deeper level of forgiveness, which I have very often found to be the most important one, kind of the deepest, the baseline of all other ability to forgive in life. This is the ability to forgive yourself. Very often people who are bitter, people who are unforgiven, they need that victim to hold on to. They need to be bitter so as not to face the bitterness within towards themselves. Very often, I believe in the principle of love others as you love yourself. So how do you love yourself? How can you say that you love others if you don't know how to love yourself properly, if you don't look after yourself, if you don't have compassion on yourself? Compassion. Com in Latin means with. Passio means suffer. Compassion is not, oh, poor little thing. Compassion means to feel someone's pain, to be so close to them as to feel their pain. This is compassion. Compassion. Remember this. It's important. Have compassion on yourselves. But not just the self that you are now, because that might not be easy. I'm talking about the fragmented self. As I always talk about the child within. As I mentioned before, there is a child within you. There is your deepest self. Part of it is stuck back in time because of trauma, because of neglect or abuse, or just inability to grow because the environment was not fertile enough, was not warm enough. And this part is what we must reclaim if we are to become ourselves. You see, the world works upside down, really. People that were most mocked in society, people that everybody laughed at, they often became very great. All the inventors, I've just been reading things about people, and most of the people that invented something new and great, people didn't accept them at first. They mocked them. All the great ones, all the great leaders, they always, more often than not, they had to go through that. People just were against it and they said, no, you're nobody. So you've done the same with your own little self. And I mean little, because I'm talking about a child that is within you, a child that you've left behind. You've buried him deep. And I know that, because we all do that. Let me just tell you something right now. You and I, and everyone to a degree, apart from few exceptions, have been child abusers. Yes, I said it. Child abusers. Child abuse is what we do. Most of you probably think, what is he talking about? Well, this is I believe is one of the most serious crimes in society. I've got a child, Don't ask me how I feel about hearing about child abuse, watching the news. But we've all done it, because we've all abused that child within ourselves. Think about it. I know my own experience. For decades, I used to hate that little child inside of me. When I was 15 and I keep going back to that incident because that was the most conscious kind of defining moment. But there are many, most of them subconscious anyway. But that's the most conscious moment, and I was old enough to remember everything. So I keep going back to that incident when I was 15, and my father told me, you're not good enough to stand up to bullies. You haven't got that warrior spirit. You're not like me, in other words. And so I remember how I felt towards that little, weak, helpless child. I did not have compassion on that child. I was the opposite. I felt murderous toward that child. I could have killed that child. I'm ashamed to admit that, but that's true. That's why I'm talking to you today, because this is true, and this reality is all around us and within us. I remember not even saying anything, because ours was not a home where you can just express your feelings freely. But I remember thinking these deep, murderous, cursing thoughts towards my inner self, thinking, you weakling, you worm, I wish I could kill you. And you know what? If you had told me, if this child was beside me, and if you told me that's the self that you hate the most, that's you, kill him and just you get away with it, I would have done it. I would not have killed another human being, but me, that deepest self, that child, that I saw as was my hindering my progress in life, I would have killed that self. And that's why I couldn't love others well. That's why when I got married, I didn't have that level of gentleness and intimacy. You know, when you just date girls one after another, you can get away with that. You're the cool guy, you know, you go around with them and, you know, make them feel special and all that. But when you actually start drawing closer to someone and they start requiring more of you than just the superficial, then you see, oh, I'm empty, I'm dry. How can I have compassion? How can I have gentleness for others if you haven't got that towards yourself? And I was fragmented. I was literally. This is a medical condition, if you like, a psychological. It's a disease. The fragmented self. I refer to that as the broken heart, literal brokenness. And when I talk about the heart, I don't mean the physical heart. I mean the inner self, the utmost the inmost being, the self that is truest about you. Not the behavior, not the outward thing, the person that is really you. This person, let me tell you, this person is a child. And this child needs compassion. So the road to manliness, the road to true, genuine strength and manhood is the low road. It's not the road of achievement. It's not, I'm not going to tell you, go to a boxing gym or climb a mountain and you're going to be a man. I'm telling you, climb down from the mountain that you're climbing now and embrace yourself as a child. I want you to sit in a quiet place. I want you to, I don't know, if you believe in God, pray to God in a prayer between you and God, or in a counseling session between you and your trusted counselor, and just express your feelings toward that child. And please apologize to that child for abandoning him. I pushed that child down because I saw that child as weak, unable to take me through life. He was not a man. He would not let me become a man. What I didn't know is that this self was the most true and good and the best thing that ever was about me. Ever since I embraced that child, it was a gradual process. It didn't just happen like that. But I had a few dramatic experiences when I connected to the pain of that child. But ever since I embraced that child, I embraced him, I started to be more creative. My writing started to flow, even in my second language, which is English. I started to connect to nature far more. All the goodness, all the gold is in that real self. Your true self is good, is golden. And all the strength is inside him too. However, he needs to develop that. And we'll go through that later. But you can never teach a child to fight. You can never take a little boy and make him a warrior if he's not been loved first. Because he'll not love himself. He'll not be confident to learn and remember and face opposition. No, he'll be withdrawn, scared, or bitter and angry. You could turn him into a murderer, but not into a warrior. There's a difference there. So, embrace that child within yourself. Turn back. Don't forget. Don't forget who you are. Remember who you truly are.